Hey, 8 days left. What's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite movies, and today I'm going to do a movie review on Taxi Driver. Damn, I'm feeling really tired. I'm sorry if I stutter or slur any words in this review. I'm actually feeling really sleepy and tired right now. But anyways, Taxi Driver is a movie directed by Martin Scorsese and written by Paul Schrader and is released in the year 1976. And it is a classic, to say the least. Taxi Driver is adored by a lot of people, the mainstream film fans, cinephiles, art house cinephiles, and it's one of the most influential movies of all times. And again, I've been wanting to watch this movie for a very, very, very long time, and it's been on my watch list for forever. And yesterday, I finally got the chance to watch Taxi Driver on on my laptop, and yeah, let's talk about it. Taxi Driver is a movie about Travis Bickle, who is a taxi driver in New York, and he does these night shifts. He drives his taxi at night from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. On the next day. And because of that, he sees all kinds of weird people and all kinds of fucked up people in his cab all the time. Junkies, prostitutes, you name it. And so he's basically soaked into this world of degeneracy and corruption, so much so that he feels a kind of a motivation to commit violence. Now, first of all, this movie is a character study, and it is about loneliness, isolation, and solitude leading to psychosis and violent behavior. And damn, damn, damn! A movie about loneliness and masculinity and violence and being pushed to insanity by society. This is exactly the movie I've been waiting for. This is exactly the movie I've been asking for a long time. This movie scratches my itch. For a very, very, very long time, I've been wanting to watch or read or experience something like this. This is exactly what I wanted the most out of the world of cinema, okay? And yeah, this movie definitely scratches my itch. There is a movie out there released 45 years ago that is exactly about what I wanted my favorite movie of all times to be about: loneliness and insanity. And yeah, this is definitely a great movie, not only when it comes to the plot, but also the technical aspects of things. The acting is fantastic. Robert De Niro as the main character is great. He's unhinged. He is broken, and by the end of the movie, you can tell that he's already lost it. He's already lost all the sanity he has. Martin Scorsese also lands a cameo in this movie, says the N word, quite funny. And yeah, I mean, he's great also. Everybody else is great as well. Jodie Foster was still a kid when she was in this movie, and damn, like, what a great performance. What a great performance. Harvey Keitel is also in this movie. I also really like the music. The score is made by Bernard Herrmann, who is a really great and well-known producer in film history, and his jazzy score in this movie is really great. It's really relaxing. It's very chill, but it also shows the underlying tension that's building behind Travis' character. I really like the editing. I really like the cinematography. I mean, this movie isn't some super colorful, fancy looking movie, but still, this movie does what it can. It still uses the city imagery for its own advantage. It still looks really good. There are a lot of nice frame compositions. There's a lot of nice usage of lights. as colors, and there are some really nice uses of the zoom ins and zoom outs and pans and truck shots. Yeah, especially that one scene where Travis was making a phone call and the camera just trucks to a hallway. That was pretty well-known usage of the truck shot right there. And yeah, just a lot of great shots, some nice hovering shots, some really nice uses of close-up. The cinematic language is on point in this movie. But of course, we have to talk about the plot once again. Um, this movie is to say that this movie is about a guy who can't stand the society being really broken and dirty and sort of forcing his own twisted sense of justice onto these people is actually simplifying things. There's so much more going on psychologically. Now, the guy's a taxi driver. He, throughout the whole film, we don't see him with anyone. I mean, he has friends, but those three friends aren't really anyone who he seemed to really care about. And he also doesn't really speak to his parents in this movie, even though he did write his parent like a letter. But his parents basically don't exist in this movie. Throughout the whole movie, he is always an observer. He's always alone, and he feels lonely. And usually, when movies are character studies, I would really love it if they would push this character to the brim of explosion. And I mean, this movie kind of does it too, but in a way more subtle and nuanced way. I think that's kind of the reason why some people may be underwhelmed or disappointed by Taxi Driver. It's because it's not that dramatic. We don't see Travis Bickle being beaten up in an alleyway or being robbed inside a subway train or anything like that. Like, nothing that bad happens to him. Nothing that bad happens to him. He just drives people around, and that's all he does. Occasionally he gets like somebody yells at him, but there aren't any like life-threatening incidents that happen to him in this film actually. So that may underwhelm people, but I actually appreciate this even more because this is more realistic, and I feel like the only way I could really enjoy this movie and for this movie to click for me is to see myself in Travis Bickle, and or see a bit of Travis Bickle in me. And before you go, oh my God, you're an incel, blah blah blah. When I watch character study movies, I try my best to do this. I try myself to project the character onto myself or project myself onto the character because it's a character study. So I really need to be in the character's shoes in order to really understand the situation. And this movie, again, it scratches my itch because this is exactly what I've been salivating for years after years after years. Around 3 years ago, I was still in school and I was very lonely. I was I might be the loneliest person I've ever known when I was at school. And I wasn't in any life-threatening situation. Like, nobody threatened me physically to beat me up at school. Nobody bullied me. Nobody gossiped about me. Nobody hated me. Nobody liked me. I didn't date anyone at for a long time, for a long period of time. When I was at school, I had like no friends, and I would see people who I'm used to be friends with hanging out with other people. So in a sense, I see Travis Bickle in me in that way, where I'm just an observer and I see lots of people. But there are also a lot of glaring differences between my experience and Travis Bickle's experience as a taxi driver in New York in the 70s versus some boy in Hong Kong studying in a secondary school in the 2010s. But still, there weren't anything dramatic that happened to me. Nothing dramatic happened to me. Nobody threatened to kill me. But I remember how pissed off I was at the world and the society and myself too at that stage in life. And now that I'm thinking back, I have had thoughts that I don't even understand why I would have. But if I go back and I see myself in that situation and I feel the same feelings again, maybe it would have made more sense. And it's sort of this hatred, but it's not directed towards specific people. It's directed towards the whole system, the whole world, in fact. At a point, I wanted to do something big. I just wanted to do something shocking, to shock the world, to tell everybody that I am deeper and more interesting than I lead on. When in fact, of course, people saw me as this dumb boy because I wasn't really social, whereas everybody's really social at that point. But at some point, I just wanted to, I don't know, start a revolution. For all I care, start a cult or something and make people fear me, because that is, like, to me, at that point, the only way I could ever gain respect. And to a degree, that's also similar to Taxi Driver, where you sort of see all these people, right? Junkies, prostitutes, gangsters, the mafia, and they're all dirty, they're all fucked up, they're all broken, and yeah, it's detestable, but you also kind of want to join them. You feel like you're missing out by just observing, by watching. You feel like you're missing out. You feel like you're not even a part of that life, and you feel like that life is the real life. And so, even though nothing life-threatening is happening to you, you still feel a very strong urge to sort of overcome this loneliness by joining this world of violence and fucked uppery. So, in a sense, I can relate to that. But there are also a few things about Travis Bickle that is completely different from me if I'm a movie character or a TV show character. And that is, Travis Bickle, in the beginning of the movie, is a very confident man. He goes up to a girl, speaks to her, brings her onto a date. While I couldn't ever do that in a million years. So, there is that. And I guess on top of that, Travis Bickle also finds himself a goal to do. For him, it is saving this 12-and-a-half-year-old girl from the world of prostitution. And she is basically a symbol for purity in this film. Whereas where I'm from, at school, everybody's, or by everybody I mean most people, are more like messed up than I would have known, and the feeling of paranoia is stronger. But aside from that, I guess in a sense, what Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver had to go through is something that I might have gone through, something that a lot of people in this world might have gone through if they were pushed even further, and if they were even lonelier, if they really had to run out of options. And yeah, again, this movie is really subtle and nuanced with its own story and its own ideas. It doesn't really burst them out immediately, so it's not a very immediate film. It definitely takes time to digest. But what I love about movies like this is that it is universal. It seems very specific at first, like, okay, you're super lonely and you're driven to insanity. That seems very specific. That it seems as though not a lot of people in this world feel this way. But the truth is, a lot of people in this world do feel this way, especially in this day and age, in the 2010s, in the 2020s, when the world is lonelier than ever, and when mental health is an even bigger issue than many other great issues in this world. So, yeah, I mean, towards the end of the movie, there's sort of this parallel between Travis Bickle wanting to assassinate the senator versus Travis Bickle wanting to kill everybody in the brothel and save the little girl, because to him, they're both the same things. The senator, the gangsters, they're both the same. It doesn't really matter. They're both oppressors. They're both people running their own games, and I guess Travis is just really sick of that, and he has his own distorted sense of justice, thinking that killing them would really make him someone, make him known, and in a way, the ending is a really happy ending. He is known. At the end, he won. He's even in the newspapers. That is the dream. Okay? Like, eh, back at my school days, I know it's getting annoying, me trying to make everything about me, but back in my school days, everybody around me is known for something, right? Oh, she's the chairperson of the student union. Oh yeah, he's in the math society. Oh, he's in the volleyball team. He's really good. And every time there are awards in the closing ceremony, if there are any like magazines or posters or some promotion whatsoever, like in the school hall or whatever, like these people are always mentioned, and I'm always left out of the equation because I used to be a very unimportant, and I still am a very unimportant, insignificant person. Like, I could be standing in the middle of the classroom and nobody would actually see me because I would be invisible. But at some point, I just wanted to do something, start a revolution, like like just do something whack for the sake of the wackiness of that thing, and I want to be known for that thing. And I wish I would be in the papers for it or something, or not exactly like newspapers, but figuratively be known. So yeah, in a sense, this is a really great ending that shows how far down this road you can go. But yeah, fortunately, at the end of fortunately in Form 6, I decided to open up and actually make friends and become an honest, nice guy. So at least I'm in a way better place right now. So yeah, Taxi Driver, great film. Maybe it's because last night I was just not really in the mood. I mean, for the past few weeks, I've been really, really fixated on the idea that I'm about to leave Hong Kong, so maybe I wasn't really in the mood enough for me to completely enjoy the movie. So, yeah, maybe I'll love this movie even more on a rewatch. Or maybe actually, maybe I would have enjoyed this movie way more 2 years ago. Like, I feel like given the headspace I was at 2 years ago, maybe I would have enjoyed this movie way more. I don't know. But this is truly a great character study on evil, enacting on evil, action, reaction, masculinity, how the society pushes people to the edge, and just a great character study. Feeling a 10 out of 10 on Taxi Driver, and yeah, watch it. Highly recommend. So, yeah, this may be the second last movie review I'm ever going to do here in Hong Kong, and also this year. And this may also be like the third last review I'm ever going to do in my, like, in this year. So, yeah, who knows?